Hey everyone, and welcome to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your hosting Café con Leche for the next hour, encouraging you to get social with us online. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BxRx TV and like us on Facebook at Open BxRx Television. And of course, you can always find me on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. So many people over the course of the pandemic have gained the quarantine 15, or as I like to call it, the Rona 15. Yeah. So now more than ever, we're all looking to consume a healthier diet for 2021, consciously eating certain foods to boost our immune system, preparing our bodies to fight off any viruses. And our first guest is a chef and registered dietitian and the director of SBH Center for Culinary Medicine and Teaching Kitchen, joining us to give us some nutritional health tips. We welcome Emily Schlag. Hi.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for being here at the top of the new year prior to this spike in progress, as the news keeps suggesting, right? And I'm saying that because we do have the means to act from a preventative measure, right?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the coronavirus, there's a lot that we can do to keep ourselves from getting it. Number one is always going to be, washing our hands. That's not a nutrition tip, but, I think that is the number one tip that we can give, and just, helpful hygiene and keeping safe. But we can also keep our immune system running as it should as well. So,
well, in running as it should, right? It's really about incorporating new habits into our daily practices, and without going too into detail about the virus. And I think we've heard so many variations of what kind of symptoms people get, and or how long they linger, and or if somebody has pre-existing conditions. But there are certain like fruits and herbs and items that you can just kind of mix into your meals that or assist in boosting the immune system. So what would you suggest people, let's say, begin their day with?
Yeah, so I think it's important to remember that when we're thinking of our immune system, it's just that it's a really complex system. And so we want to make sure that it's running as it should. And so the idea of like boosting our immune system, I think sometimes can be a little bit misleading, because sometimes we think, okay, I'm going to drink a glass of orange juice and I'm going to like supercharge my immune system. And that's not really how it works. But we can do things to make sure that our immune system is really running as it should, and we can kind of give it a leg up and make sure that, nothing's going wrong. So when it comes to keeping our immune system healthy, it's all about making sure that we're not deficient in any vitamins or minerals that are really important for our immune system. And that really comes from eating a well-balanced diet. But, just saying well-balanced diet, that doesn't really tell you what to eat. So there's a few nutrients that we do want to look out for when we're planning our meals. So the first one's going to be vitamin A. Vitamin A is pretty important for our immune system. It's important for our tissues, so our skin, our lungs, our stomach, our respiratory system. And we want to make sure we're not deficient in that. So we can get vitamin A from a lot of different foods. So you have a lot of options out there. Number one is going to be our red, orange, and yellow vegetables. And the fruits as well. So that could be our tomatoes or our bell peppers or things like carrots and sweet potatoes. Those are all going to be a really good source of that vitamin A for us. So it doesn't just have to be like one specific thing we can eat. We have options out there.
That's wonderful. So like, do you recommend that it be eaten in raw form versus cooked? Like how much of the vitamin is lost in cooking these vegetables?
So vitamin A is going to be pretty stable when we cook it. So we can cook those vegetables. We're still going to get vitamin A from it. And we can get vitamin A from animal sources as well. So those we do, want to cook. So we can get vitamin A from beef, chicken, and pork, especially organ meats. So if you're a liver lover, now is your time. You can get a lot of vitamin A from that. And those we do definitely want to cook and make sure we're consuming at a safe temperature.
And so I know vitamin C is also an important factor, which you mentioned, you kind of glimpsed through it, but I guess you're leading up to it.
Mhm.
And so I know from my perspective, it's vitamin C, you can get it in oranges. I think everybody knows that. In lemons as well, right? Because and grapefruits because of the alkalinity, right?
Yeah, so all of our citrus fruits are going to be a great source of vitamin C. So you said oranges and grapefruits and lemons. We can get it from limes as well. So all of those citrus fruits are a great option, but we can get them from a lot of other foods as well. Vitamin C is actually pretty easy to get, especially if you love fruit. If you like fruit, you're going to get vitamin C from it, even if it's not a citrus fruit. So we can get it in strawberries, mango, or even things like guava are going to be a good source of vitamin C. And the great thing is that some of those fruits are also a great source of vitamin A. So you can get, 2-in-1 with those things like the strawberries and the mango.
And so before we move on to the next vitamin, I just want to just to be clear, because again, I think we're all struggling with the additional 15 pounds, myself included. And I understand that the citrus fruits also assist the weight loss. Is that a myth or is that true?
So that's going to be more of a myth. I mean, when it comes to weight loss, the thing that's going to cause weight loss is that if you're taking in fewer calories than you're eating. That's really the basics of it. But we can keep in mind that by adding things that are really great for us, like fruits and vegetables, they tend to be lower in calories, but they take up a lot of space. So we can bulk up our meals with those fruits and vegetables, be really full and satisfied, but we may still end up eating fewer calories than we were before without feeling really hungry. So it's not just citrus fruits, it's really everything, all those great fruits and vegetables combined.
Right. So then now we're talking about the sugars, right? So let's talk about the sugar intake, because now if we bulk up in fruits, now we have to concern ourselves with the sugar. I know everything is in moderation. However, I have a registered dietitian here, so inquiring minds want to know how to balance that out.
Yeah, so I mean, I love fruit. I think that fruit is often painted as the enemy, and that honestly makes me sad because we get so many great benefits from fruit. I just mentioned some of the vitamins that we can get from it. That's really great for our immune system, so we don't want to deprive our bodies of that. And yes, fruit does have naturally occurring sugar in it, but so do other foods as well. Dairy food has naturally occurring sugar, and so we just need to keep in mind that we're getting other great nutrients from the fruit, including things like fiber. So when we consume fiber from the fruit alongside the sugar with it, that actually slows down how quickly our bodies absorb the sugar. So especially for people that may have diabetes or be at risk for diabetes, having a few servings of fruit here and there, in moderation, isn't going to be the worst thing because we have that fiber helping us along and we're getting the other great benefits from it. So, you don't want to go overboard with it. Don't eat like a gallon bucket full of orange slices. But if you want to have an orange with breakfast and maybe an apple later on during the day, I'm fine with that.
Got it. Got it. So I don't know if we have time for another one, but if we do, it has to be really short. But I'm hoping it's in the category of vitamin D.
It is.
It is? Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm right there. Because that's the issue here with the COVID-19 and the vitamin D deficiency. So yes, before we go.
Yes, so they are still doing research on the link between vitamin D and outcomes in people that already have COVID-19. So the research is still new, but we do know that if you are deficient in vitamin D, your immune system is not going to work as well. So we do know that. And we do know that, especially if you're deficient in vitamin D, you're at a greater risk for respiratory illnesses, which COVID-19 we have those respiratory symptoms. So it's important to make sure you have enough vitamin D. Now, I normally recommend getting all of your vitamins and minerals from food, but vitamin D is one of those few that, take a supplement. We're in New York or, wherever you are, it's winter time. We're not getting enough sunlight to make our own vitamin D. And some people struggle to eat enough vitamin D. So this is a great time to really take a supplement just to cover your bases and make sure you're getting enough. But if you want to get vitamin D from food, our dairy foods are going to be a good option, but we can also get it from fatty fish like tuna and salmon and mackerel, which have a whole host of other great benefits as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. Registered Dietitian Emily Schlag, and she's also the director of SBH Center for Culinary Medicine and Teaching Kitchen. Those were wonderful tips. And for you guys, if you're interested in more nutritional health tips, you can visit sbhteachingkitchen.org. We do have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll learn about an organization helping restaurant workers during this pandemic. Don't go anywhere.